Good afternoon, good evening everybody. I'm James Beckett, Commercial Manager of Macclesfield Town Football Club. I'd like to welcome everybody to the club this evening. It's a really exciting time to be at Macclesfield Town in a minute with the return of youth football and the fantastic work that Paul and the guys are doing. Just a few formalities before we start. There's no planned fire drills or anything tonight, so if you do hear anything, probably might want a little bit of a worry. Fire exits are down the stairs, down at the back end of the room, and behind this screen down there. Just follow the signs, should be alright. Toilets are at the far end down there as well. So yeah, as I mentioned, it's a really exciting time for Macclesfield Town Football Club at the minute. Paul has done some fantastic work to get everybody in the rooms this evening, and to have youth football and youth development as part of what we're doing at Macclesfield Town is fantastic. It's really important for the future of the club, and from what Paul's told me so far, there's some fantastic players in this room tonight, so we're really excited about what we're doing. So without any further ado, I'd like to hand myself over to Paul, and I'm sure he can talk you through everything that's going on.
Enlightened, yeah. Right, okay. Firstly, thank you for coming. A lot of you have been to our matches and training sessions, and actually the attendance and punctuality and communication with me has been absolutely first class, okay? And none more so than tonight. I think actually we did lay the chairs out for the number that were coming, so actually more people came than what we thought, so that's fantastic, so thanks for coming. Importantly, tonight is going to be on YouTube, so this whole night, filmed by Rory and Josh, will go up online. Okay, so you won't need to remember everything that I'm talking about today, okay, because it will be difficult. You've got your handouts. Has anyone got one of them yet? You all should have a handout. Has anyone not got one, either a parent or a player? Okay, on there's the slides. If you did bring a pen or anything and want to take notes, you can. But the most important thing I think for you to take from this is it is going online, the whole thing. Okay, so it's the first time we've done this. I've worked at Macclesfield Town for a long, long time, and this night has never happened. Okay, so I'm sure we'll learn. I'm sure if we did this again in future years, it might get a bit better. But we're going for it, and I think you guys deserve this night because of the ability that we've had on the pitches and the training sessions. Okay, so I will send the link out after this night once the video is edited. I'll send you all the link by email, and you will be able to watch it in the comfort of your own home with a brew and sit and divulge all the information that we talked about. I think that's really critical. Okay, Jack, you're the tapper, aren't you? So, probably important for me to say tonight that the manager, Sir Sol Campbell, we know some of your players met Sol when we did the kind of Manchester v Cheshire kind of in-house game. Hands up if Sol came into your changing room. Hands up high, come on. So quite a few of yous, yeah? So that's an ex-England international, a guy that's been around the block, you know, knows what's going on, and he's taking time out to even come to that night. He did send his apologies, he couldn't be here tonight. He might be here towards the end, is what he said to me. But he is massively about this football programme. He wants us, for the duration of he's the manager, to get young players in this team. That's what he told me. And I've never heard that from a manager in all my time here. So to have the backing of the manager is so important for this. And the fact he was here that night on a cold Friday night, when he normally goes home and comes back for the games on the Saturday, was really key. So it's quite interesting for me because some of the young lads, when we talk about Sol Campbell, won't actually remember Sol Campbell or have ever seen Sol Campbell play, which is mad really for us of my age, because he was like a real pivotal figure in football when I'm growing up. So you young guys probably do need to know that, you know, he was a big player for England at the time. So as you probably may or may not know, his senior career, played for Tottenham, a lot of games for Tottenham, made a pretty dramatic transfer to Arsenal at the time. He's got a lot of media attention, and he's had 73 caps for England, so the guy knows what he's talking about. So as long as Sol's the manager here, he'll be fully behind this, and if you can do the business, he's already told me, I want them lads at training. So there may well be an opportunity over Easter that some players are going to be going to training with the first team, kind of always depending on how the first team are doing. If they can get themselves a tiny bit safer, then he's more than happy. If it's a knife edge, maybe not. But I anticipate in Easter some lads going to train with the first team, and that again for an academy this new at this time of the year will probably be unheard of. So yeah, that's all. Myself, a lot of you will know me by now. Just very quickly there, so I'm the football academy manager at the football club. Okay, I'm also the community manager at the football club, so I have kind of dual roles. Okay, I've got my UEFA A licence. I got that back in 2011. Seems a long time ago now that I've been an A licensed coach. Former clubs that I played for, I was a full-time with Morecambe, so I came through an academy process with Morecambe and played in the first team for 5 years. Had some good times there, we went full-time. After that, played for teams like Norfolk Victoria, Radcliffe Borough, Hyde United. Kind of did the rounds of the non-league game, if you like, which helps me a bit now with the contacts that we have, but also I do know what it takes around this level, really. Currently I manage Manchester Central Football Club on a Saturday, so you know we're looking at getting the young lads playing for Central as well of a weekend, where you will learn, you know, you get knocked about a little bit and you'll learn the rough and tumble of football, and I think that will help you try and progress and play for a club like Macclesfield Town. So instead of always playing under 17 or under 18 football, I'm going to make sure you're playing adult football against men that actually mean it, what they're doing, and it's really serious, okay? So if you went on YouTube when you went home and typed in Manchester Central Football Club, you'll see all our match highlights on there from the last 3 seasons, and the team and the club's doing very, very well with a lot of homegrown Manchester players. I've got a sports science diploma. I've worked in coaching now for 20 years, and I've worked at Macclesfield Town for 17 of them 20 years. So I was here, my first job here was Centre of Excellence, and I was the assistant manager of the Centre of Excellence, and it was very, very good, but we fell out of the league and then it all went really. So from that time there's not really been what we would call anything notable in terms of youth football at Mac Town until now, and it just shows tonight what we're capable of. Right, what I am going to ask as well is if I go through a slide, maybe like this one, or any future slides that you're kind of thinking, what's he saying there, or I need to know a bit more about that, please put your hand up and please just ask me any off the cuff questions. That's what probably tonight is best for. We will have quite a detailed Q and answer session at the end. Okay, so we are going to finish with questions, and that is your chance. We'll give you honest answers. We'll tell you exactly what we know. If I don't have the answer, I'll get it for you. So at the end, we need some questions. Your question might be something everyone else is thinking about, okay? But like I say, if you want to put your hand up during a slide, please do so. These are the main kind of 4 pathways that I envisage from a young man doing this course, or a young lady in future years, hopefully, okay? You've got player, so you're looking at professional, semi-pro, amateur, speaks for itself. Coach, so you're looking at getting your coaching badges and experience and knowledge. You're looking at development, so youth, grassroots, community, and you're also looking at things around media, match day stuff, design, editing, match analysis, all that kind of stuff. That's what I see somebody coming out of from here. That just happens to be every single thing I've done. So kind of when, actually, so when I stand in front of you, I'm telling you my pathway, if I'm really honest. From a lad that grew up in Moss Side, moved to Burnage with my mum and dad, lived in Burnage my whole life, and I've gone on to do all these things from joining a programme exactly like this. Exactly like this. So it can happen and people can come out of it doing quite well. Yes, Jack? Okay, the student journey. So this is how I kind of see it, kind of a very fast forward version, again, of your son's life through doing this programme, okay? So you're looking at joining the academy, doing your BTEC level 2 or 3, which can therefore be a 1, 2 or 3 year programme for you, okay? Because if you do a 1 year level 2 and progress onto level 3, there's an opportunity to do a further 2 years, okay? So you can have quite a long pathway, you can be with us for quite a long time. So the things that we can do with you over that time are quite substantial, okay? As we know right now, it's going to be a 1 central Macclesfield location, close to the football club. We believe that's going to have a lot of benefits, certainly being close to the training ground as well. It's going to be key for us. Okay, branching off from there, the top one, which is, I'd say it's a USP of what we are trying to do. This is the beauty of what we're trying to do. So into a 3rd year, so let's say someone comes and does 2 years on BTEC, we're then hoping to offer a full-time apprenticeship, okay, to what I would call elite players. But that should be caveated by saying elite coaches as well. People that I think can stay with the programme, become an apprenticeship through Macclesfield College and be paid to be there. Okay, so whether they're paid to be there as a player, which, by the way, this football club likes the sound of that one, that they're being paid as an apprentice, but playing for the first team is very appealing. But it might be that you're a coach, and you end up working at the academy with me and the other staff in your 3rd year. So that will be subject to criteria for people that have done really well, really sharp, good attendance, a good lad, everything about them that would make us what a given, what in effect would be a full-time job as an apprentice. That would be very appealing for some people. You've obviously got the higher education route. So on leaving our course, and the ladies will go on to this from Macclesfield College just shortly, on leaving our course you will have the UCAS points like any other course or qualification would give you to go on to university. Whether that be with like a partner of ours, which is UCFB, which is based at the Etihad, and there's one at Wembley, which is a big football university, okay? Or just going off onto any university course. So our programme has that university pathway attached to it, just the same as anybody else, okay? And then obviously you've got kind of the employment route. So it's like, my son comes on this, he's going to need a job or something at the end of it. That's what we need to give you. That's what we need. They're going to want to get girlfriends and go on holiday and have a car, and they're going to need to know what that's all about. So we're going to make sure throughout their life here, we are touching on that, and it's very serious of, are they employable as they come out of this as well? Whether that be a player, chances, I don't know, slim, but possible, certainly for a few of you. And maybe employment in or outside the sports area. I'm not saying you all have to be football coaches, you won't want to be, or in this football world, but we've got to look at other ways of maybe helping with the employment pathways. Ideally for me or for you, it would be maybe playing as a semi-pro player and have a career running alongside that. So you're playing for a very good team and you've got a job alongside it. And then you've also got the internal opportunities with us. So like I say, you've done a 2-year BTEC, a 1-year apprenticeship. How am I not probably going to give a good lad a job after that? Because I'm bound to, because he knows it all. I'll be able to refer to the fact that when he was sat in this room that night 3 years ago, and they'll be stood here doing this for me. That would be the plan and the dream, and I don't think that's unrealistic. So that's the kind of pathway we're looking at, okay? And I'll go into a little bit more detail about that towards later on in the slides here, Jack. Okay, so Macclesfield College. Many of you will not know Macclesfield College, because some of you are from Manchester and Stockport and places, okay? That's our kind of partner college. That's the biggest college around here, and a fantastic institution for what we want to do. There'll be other colleges that offer other things, I get it. But for what we're trying to do, it was absolutely perfect. Okay, certainly in terms of the staff, and most importantly the facilities. That's what I would honestly say. Because at Mac College you've got a gym, and the lads have been there as well, most of them who came to that session. They've got a fantastic gym to do the weight training and stuff. They've got 2 massive sports halls for us to use in inclement weather or for that kind of small-sided game stuff. We've got 3 big grass pitches outside, a full-size Astro, which hopefully one day will be renovated, part of this what we're doing, into a brand new 4G. You've obviously got like a big canteen there where we'd have the lunch and things like that. There's a chef's academy, so maybe we're trying to include the football academy into the chef academy and have the lads eating proper food and that kind of stuff. And all that will kind of come and get dietary advice and things like that. So everything that we would want to do is there, including a load of girls to cut the lads' hair as well, because they do hair and beauty, don't they? As I said that to the lads when they came that time. So lots of things can happen. They all want to do it now, don't they? Lots of things can happen with Macclesfield College, which maybe can or can't happen with other colleges. That's the truth of it. So for those that don't know, you can go on the website, look up the college and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure after this, you've got an individual process if you want to follow it up, to meet the people at the college, have a show around, do all that stuff. The lads should know it because some of them have been there, and there'll be free sessions there which I'll come on to in Easter. So people who haven't been there are going to be there on at least one of them times, if not all 3. Okay, so that's Macclesfield College. Right, critically, when you're thinking Macclesfield College, that is in the middle of nowhere. How are we getting there? Okay, but you've got to Macclesfield tonight, so it shows me you can. Right, we are now going to make full advantage of a really important thing that's happened really timely for what we're doing. In September, the government have just brought out a brand new rail card initiative for 16, 17-year-olds. Really, it's for college students, okay? And it will get people on the train at what they call child prices. So for example, if you punched in now on the trainline.com and wanted a child's return from Piccadilly to Macclesfield and back, it's like £3.50. So it's cheap. So you can get here. The financial burden that I once thought was going to be a problem isn't so much of a problem. Also, to capitalise on that, we are actually speaking right now to train companies, and we have at least one offer from, I think it is Virgin Train, to bring that down a little bit more as well, because of what we're doing and like the holistic nature of our football academy. So we're trying to get travel down as much as we can. But the beauty of that train is, if you've got on it in Piccadilly, you're in Macclesfield in like 22 minutes. I probably couldn't get from Burnage to Piccadilly in that time on the 192 or the 22 or all the buses I would have got at the time. Yeah. So the problem with travel, I don't think is a problem what once was. Okay. With that said, the college also run bus routes. So if you see a kind of like dartboard effect round the thing, they have the bus routes: Stockport, Chapel on the Frith, Buxton, Congleton, Knutsford, Winslow, Northwich. They're the bus routes that exist right now to that college. So you as a learner can capitalise on the bus route, the service that the college offer. Okay, so to get to Macclesfield College is not a big problem. It's certainly not if you are really ambitious and want to be on a football academy programme in Mactown. It's there. We thought about having a Manchester location and doing all that, and in the end we just thought, what's the point? We're just the same as anyone else then, in the middle of Manchester, with all the other 10 of them that's in Manchester, all doing the same stuff. We're in Macclesfield Town, it'll be in Macclesfield until we feel like we did need to tweak that. So, I can speak more individually about that to anybody. The college will go on to it, but there is bursaries available and can help with certain things like this. So that's something that you will also start to delve into once you follow the application process. Okay, so that's the travel really. Right, very briefly for me, these are the two options up at the top. The BTEC education consists of a level 2 extended certificate in sport, 1-year course, or a level 3 extended diploma in sport, 2-year course. Almost like like rolling years, if you like. So you've got to do well on the first year to get onto the second year. So that's what it is for us. Alongside that main study of work, okay, you will either study GCSE or functional skills in maths and English. So you do, like anybody in this country, will have to do maths and English if you haven't got it already at grade 4 or above. Okay, so that might be a lot of you, so it might be a lot of people doing that, or it might be hardly any doing that. That's what the college will find out from your predicted grades. Now, when Jack contacted a lot of you for the predicted grades, this is why. It's not to worry you or find out what you're about in school. It's so we can kind of map a timetable of who needs to do maths and English. So even if we ask you again for a bit more details, we'd appreciate it, but the college will start asking for that a bit more seriously than we will. Okay, so that's it. That's the education in a nutshell for me. I'm going to come on to the second half in a bit, but there will be a little comfort break. And a warm welcome to Macclesfield College. A little round of applause for the college people too.
Right, evening everyone. Can you hear me at the back? I'm not quite as loud as Paul. Yeah? You hear me? Thanks.
What are you trying to say?
Just saying.
Right.
I'm the Vice Principal at Macclesfield College, so I'm here to give you a bit of an overview about the education part of this. So I can see some of the footballers will start to doze off, but the parents might start listening and thinking, what is my son going to get if they do part of this youth academy? The first thing I have to say is us as a college, we're really, really excited about this development that we've got with the team, with the football club here. It just feels right. It feels like both the ambition that the club have got to get this youth academy off the ground exactly matches our ambition for educational excellence, and that's something I'm going to come on to. So, you can just flip through all of these. One of the things that I would want to know as a parent is, what is the education going to be like that your son gets as part of this youth academy? Well, at Macclesfield College we've got an absolutely fantastic track record. You know, all of us are subject to performance tables and league tables and national averages, and we are above every national average. One of the things that we're really proud of is that the average grade that one of our students gets on a level 3 course is a distinction, and that is really almost as high as you can get. You can get a distinction star. We've got nearly 100% pass rate on all our courses, but it's okay to have a pass rate. What we like to do is really move our students on to get the very, very best possible grade. I've got experience of working with football clubs in a city, Manchester actually, doing a similar thing. And I think it's a really good combination of getting that full 5 days when you're out playing football all the time, you're playing competitive games, but you're also getting an education that regardless of what happens with your football career, there's something that you will always have that no one can ever take away from you. Okay. So it's just lovely to see so many parents here tonight as well, because I think one of the reasons we get the success that we do at Macclesfield College is because we have a really, really good 3-way relationship. We are a vocational college, we don't do A-levels. So all our staff have got experience in the world of work and regularly go and update that. And so our sports staff will regularly go to clubs such as Macclesfield and various other sports just to keep their skills very, very current. And our parents are also a massive, massive part of our support network. Without the parental support that we get, we couldn't get the results that we do. So if there was at any point any slacking off of any student not really reaching their maximum educational potential, we would be straight on the phone to parents. So sorry to disappoint you footballers, but that's what we do. We really, really want to make sure that every part of your education is where it should be. Now, just to talk a little bit more about the buses and the bursaries and things like that, I just want to introduce Rachel very briefly, who is our Director of Pastoral and Academic Progress, and she can fill you in a little bit more about that.
Okay, so just to continue really with Andrea's theme about the parental support as well. All parents have access to a system called Parent Portal, so you'll be able to see attendance and how everything's going. Parents' evenings continue to happen, reports continue to be generated, so it's not like when they leave school they suddenly drop off the radar. You will still be kept as part of that process. My team is all about making sure that the students achieve what they set out to achieve to the best of their ability. So we try to remove as many barriers as we possibly can for them. So for example, if for your GCSEs, any of you have got exam concessions, which involves things like extra time, readers, anything like that, then that can continue with your education at further education level. So we'd look into that for you. Andrea mentioned bursaries. The college gets a pot of money called the Learner Support Fund, and students can apply to that to help with their cost to study. That cost does include transport. So if a family's income is below 26k, then they may be entitled to help with the financial cost of attending college. It may also help with things like the kit that's required. I'm assuming there's going to be a bit of a kit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Some free though as well.
Oh, excellent. I like the sound of that. Free is good. Our travel systems and routes, as you go through the application process to come to the college, we will start to write out to you, usually in about May, with the updated details. So we'll look at where you're living and we'll send you the most appropriate bus route application and bursary application at the same time, so that you can see exactly what's available to you. Obviously, if you wanted to explore your own alternative means because you live further afield than our bus routes, then that's absolutely fine. We just take into account the cost of that and assess how much we can help you with it. And that's me. Yes, that's it. I'm around for questions and answers, obviously, at the end.
Okay, so Paul touched on this a little bit, but every student who is part of this academy will be following a study programme, and that will consist of your sports development and coaching that you will be doing every day with Macclesfield Town, and it will also involve studying for a level 2 or a level 3 BTEC. We touched on the maths and English. It is absolutely compulsory across the whole of Great Britain that if you do not get a grade 4, whatever college you go to or whatever school sixth form you go to, you have to study towards a grade 4 for your maths and English. And we're experts at getting people through who maybe have failed it the first time, but we are specialists in post-16 delivery of maths and English, and we really try and make sure that we get all our students through on their second attempt. And if you're very near in your miss of the grade 4, we can put you in for a November resit, which is only something that's available to post-16 students. Every student who is a Macclesfield College learner will also be expected to attend tutorial. Tutorial is where you're going to get that wraparound support and where you're going to get all that information about your next steps. That specialist information, which may be about going on to an apprenticeship, or it may be about going on to university. And hopefully, for some of you, it's going to be about continuing the journey that you've started here with Macclesfield Town Football Club. Okay. So just for parents really who maybe aren't familiar with this, when we talk about level 2 and level 3, what does that actually mean? Well, level 2 is GCSE level. So if your GCSEs, when you leave school, are at about grade 2s or grade 3s, then we would look to be putting you on a level 2 course, which is a 1-year course. And that would be equivalent to 4 GCSEs if you were successful in it. And that would allow you to then go on to your level 3. There's 3 grades. There's a distinction, there's a merit, and there's a pass. And in the level 2, there's also an examined piece of work. But the majority of how we assess that course is through coursework. And that's what allows us to really input into helping students get the best possible grade. If they do a piece of work that is a pass, we will encourage them to put it up to a merit, and so forth. So I don't know what you're all aiming for with your GCSEs, but I cannot tell you how important it is. It might be that football is all you can think about at the moment, but there is going to be a life beyond that. And those GCSEs that you're studying for now in years 10 and 11 are crucial. I cannot say that any more than that. It really is crucial that you do your best and you study very hard in these next couple of months and try and get through, especially those maths and English exams, first time round. So the second one to look at is the level 3. And the level 3 is a 2-year course, and it takes it one step up. So for those of you who are familiar with A-levels, a BTEC extended diploma is equivalent to 3 A-levels. And in terms of university points, it's exactly equivalent. So you will get 3 grades in this. The highest grade you can possibly get is distinction star, distinction star, distinction star. And any permutations from that down to pass, pass, pass. If you got distinction star, distinction star, distinction star, that is exactly equivalent to 3 A stars at A level in terms of university points. So you really do need to be reassured that there are more than one way to get to university. It's not just all about that academic A level route. This is a really valid route of how to progress. And it's 100% coursework at level 3. There is no exam. So if you feel that for you, you work better through coursework, and when I say coursework, I don't always mean writing, you know, essays. We can assess your learning in lots of different ways. You will be doing lots of coaching. We will be able to video that, and we can assess that learning in whatever way is most appropriate. Okay? So that's the difference between level 2 and level 3. And if anybody's got any questions about that later, we're all going to be waiting behind and you can just ask us. Okay, so what does your actual qualification involve? If you are doing a level 3 BTEC in sport, you might think, oh, right, that's just a load of sport. Are you all doing GCSE PE? Can you put your hand up if you're doing GCSE PE?
Hold nice and high. So
Come on, get them up, yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much all of you. So So you may be familiar with some of these. Remember, this is a 2-year course. You have to do 90 credits in the first year and 90 credits in the second year. So we would do 3 mandatory units in the first year, 3 mandatory units in the second year, and then make up from optional units. So throughout your time with us over 2 years, you will do 8 out of those 9. And I'm sure some of those things are really, really familiar to you. The A&P, the anatomy and physiology, a lot of you will be doing in GCSE PE at the moment. But some of those things you might not have had access to. So those are the things we have to do as a compulsory element. And then we can choose the remaining units from these. And what we try to do at the college, and what we'll do in conjunction with the football club, is look at the skill set of the students we have. So if we have a load of footballers who are particularly interested in, I don't know, sports nutrition, for example, then we would say, right, okay, we're going to do this. Our staff can teach any of these, perhaps with the exception of outdoor and adventurous activities. I'm not convinced that.
That's Kyle at a weekend.
Right, okay. Well, there you go, we can bring you on board.
Did do that.
So we will look to really try and tailor our courses to the needs of the students we have, which I think is a great way of developing the course. Right, before you go on this comfort break, we would really encourage you to make an application, because unless you make that application, and Paul's going to talk about this a little later on, we don't know you're interested in this course. We can't send you the information about the bursaries and all the other wraparound stuff that you get from the college. Paul will explain how you can do that online, but Paul has also got a big pile of paper forms if anybody would like to do it that way. But when you're making this decision, think very carefully, weigh up all the things that we're saying today. We have to be as right for you as you have to be as right for us. So we'll leave you for a comfort break now. Get a tea or coffee.
Yeah, if anyone wants to nip to the toilet or a tea or coffee, we'll say like 5 minutes or something. If you want to just go quick and then we'll crack on. Generally, again, I must stress it, we all want to know what they're going to do. It's not just doing this, it's what comes after it. So I'm going to try and kind of portray some of them really. Okay, the player pathway in terms of the actual playing of football. Okay, this is it in a nutshell. Okay, so really you can jump into this matrix from wherever you want. It's not necessarily coming in from the bottom and working your way up. It could be someone sat in this room now who's good enough to play in that first team. It could be. So you can kind of take it as it comes where you come into it. The general flow says, down at the bottom, this is where you lot are now really. So schools football, the under 16 youth development squad, which is what you've all been playing in, and kind of junior leagues and all that world, that's where you all are now, pretty much. Bar 1 or 2 under 17s that might be in here. Okay, moving your way up. So we've entered the EFL, which is the EFL kind of league on a Wednesday afternoon. So for the pro clubs that are in the EFL, so you play against other professional clubs, I think Blackburn are in that league, and your Wigans and Crewe and different teams, okay, what you would play on a Wednesday. We would also be entering the British Colleges Under 19 League, which is good competitive competition. Lots of strands, lots of levels to be in, from level 1 down to level 3. Good competitive football. That's what a lot of the teams play in now, that, you know, the other academies and stuff. Not many of them are in the EFL one, to be honest. And we're also looking at, with Jim that's just left now, you've seen him in the Macclesfield Town Talk, welcome it down. He takes our under 18 team currently, and they're looking at turning it into an under 21 team for next season, potentially, because of this really. So it could be that you're playing on a Wednesday afternoon in one of them leagues, the EFL or the colleges, and then playing at a weekend for maybe the under 21s, okay? Or like I said, another semi-pro or pro tier kind of amateur-based team, okay? So what you kind of do on a weekend is quite flexible. So if you're sat there and thinking, my junior team are going to run as under 17s next season, on a Sunday just for example, great, you play for them. I wouldn't stop anyone from doing that. I'd be saying, look, even if I don't think that's the greatest standard in the world, the fact you're playing, you're with your mates, it's another type of football, I'm okay with it. Doesn't worry me too much. As long as it's not really bad and you're getting injured and all that stuff, I would say as much football as you can play, you will. So for us, during the week, definitely, and at the weekend, with your team you might currently play in, or with other things that we find for you at a weekend, whether that be with Macctown or some of our other partner clubs. Okay, working your way up a little bit, as kind of truthfully and ruthlessly, we start looking at better players and who can do what. We will obviously be in the FA Youth Cup, so that's a good stepping stone for people to show what they're made of. Generally speaking, FA Youth Cup teams will be largely made up of second year players. So if you happen to play an Oldham Athletic in the FA Youth Cup, generally full of all their second years, a good team basically. And we would generally be first years, wouldn't we? But I can tell you now, if I picked a team for that competition right now, we would hold our own. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, FA Youth Cup, and obviously just trying to do well in that and progress, and it is a good shop window, to be fair, for people. Moving on from that, really, we've got with the first team, so the senior football, we've got like the reserve squad, which generally play in the Central Reserve League, which are kind of like Tuesday afternoons and things like that, which I took some of them games last season. And the Cheshire Senior Cup, which again is a senior competition where I would anticipate every year on year it's been like younger lads playing in that, and anticipate the manager saying we want 6 of your lads, Paul, with 6 of our lads, and that's a squad for the Cheshire Senior Cup. So that's how you kind of get involved with the senior setup, as well as going to training as well, which is critical. And obviously the first team. So it's not to say someone can't come in from the under 16 youth development squad and be in that first team. What a dream that'd be. I'd love that to happen. Whether that's possible, I don't know. I actually think 1 or 2, even in this room today, are not a million miles off. I honestly think that. But given time and a bit of exposure and training and all that stuff, this is the process. So we need loads of lads playing in the reserves, loads of lads, almost the whole team being in that Cheshire Senior Cup, and getting lads in that first team, or in and around it at least. Okay, yes, Jack? Right, outcomes now. I've kind of tried to portray in 4 models, if you like. Again, breezing over them pretty quick, and you can watch this back and ask me things about this one-to-one later or via email or whatever. But you're looking at maybe, and it's not numbered 1 as in number 1's the best, it's not honestly. But number 1, becoming a full-time player. So getting in Macctown's first team, multiple appearances, assisting this club in successes, and sold on to a bigger club. And off you go. Brilliant. That can happen. Amazing. I've done my job. Everyone here is very, very happy. That's a good way to go. Number 2, you may be talking about coming through our academy, doing well, being a good player, maybe not quite good enough for Macctown at that point, but then going on to like a semi-pro career, so earning money for playing football. Okay, maybe something like a job linked around the football and sports industry, and still having a big chance to progress up the pyramid and kind of get back in. So if it's a lad that's come through us and now he's had to drop down and go play for an Altrincham or something, and he's flying, maybe he comes back to Macctown after that and you get signed again, but you've been in the mix and you're around it. So they're kind of 2 probably with quite a bit more of a football slant on them, if you like. Yeah, Jack? Number 3, maybe coming out as like a full-time coach. So getting some coaching badges on the course, doing that apprenticeship for a year that we discussed. Maybe even working here with us at Macctown on the Youth Academy, working your way through your coaching badges all the way up to maybe A licence if you can get there, and getting some experience with the MTFC senior team and senior squad, and being around the kind of coaching world, if you like. Very, very realistic. That's probably the easiest one to achieve, if I'm honest. That's probably the easiest. And number 4 is kind of that university route. So doing a BTEC with us, maybe going off to do sports science at uni or something like that, analysis guy and all that kind of world. Obviously vocational training, a lot of like real world skills, and just endless pathways on that university one. Okay, again, that's not for everybody, but it is for certain people. Now the beauty of that one is when you're at university, you have massive amounts of like work experience to do. So we currently take university students right now, and they have to come for like 6 months. So I'd be anticipating anyone that come for this programme went to uni, like a Liverpool John Moores or whatever, and come back here with us doing your work experience and working with us at the academy. So, like I say, they're probably 4 things. It's like become the pro footballer, become the semi-pro and have a job and earn money from football, become a coach, or be in and around the sports world, not necessarily coach, might be all the other like ancillary jobs that are in football now, or maybe university route and off we go and be a physiotherapist or something like that. Yeah, and I do just speak from the sport point of view because you all like sport, like I did when I was your age. Now we know you can just go off on this and do any other job as well. Yeah, any other job, which is quite, look, you might be a job as a plasterer and be a semi-pro footballer, and that will still be a great life. Earn £200 for playing for Altrincham, you got your full-time job, and off you go, and you're still in the football world. So that's how I kind of see it. You as a young person, or your son, coming out in one of them 4 ways would be a success for me. Yeah, somebody just goes through it, bumbles along, not really interested, goes off, does something else, probably not made one of them 4 grades, and I'd be a bit disappointed if that was the case. So that's what we're trying to do. Again, we can go into them in more detail whenever you want to. Jack? Right, we touched on it briefly before, the application process. It officially opens right now. Today, it's gone live on the Macclesfield College website. Okay, so if you go on Mac College website, this is Steph, your hard work, isn't it? Yeah. It's on the website, you go to sport, you click on sport, the options come up, you got the level 3 option, the level 2 option, okay? You click view course, you click apply, and you start filling in all the boxes. Now, I'm also pretty sure that is not you signing your life away, is it? And it's kind of like, my view on it is, just do it. Even if you're 50-50 right now, probably not even that much, if you're 25% thinking you want to do it, I think you still must do this. Because it pings you onto the database, I know you're serious, and you're kind of in the mix. So I think you do have to do it. If you kind of went from here and I'm looking, it's like, you know, a week, 2 weeks down the line, and the ladies have not told me your name's pinged on there, I'm probably thinking you're maybe not doing it right now. Okay, I'd say you've probably got to have done this by maybe back end of Easter or start of May or something. But you're not signing your life away. Doesn't mean if you fill that in, you have to do it. Like they're going to come pick you up at your door and make you do the course. They're not. It is still really you earmarking that you want to do it. If you're unsure about the level 2 or level 3, what do they do, Andrea?
I think if you're unsure, apply for the level 3, because the majority of you will get onto the level 3 anyway as a direct entry. Quite a few people have been asking me in the break, do you have to do the level 2 first? No. You need to do the level 2 if you get grades 2s and 3s in your GCSEs. For mums and dads, that's D's and E's in old money. Right? If you're getting C's and above, i.e. you're getting, that's a grade 4, so if you're getting 4 or 5 grade 4s, then you can go directly onto the level 3. So go for the level 3, doesn't matter either way, we can sort that detail out when the GCSE results are in.
Thank you. So with that said, that's, for me personally, I would assume that's the easiest way for you to do it. Do it at the comfort of your own home, sit by your laptop or computer at home and do it. We do have the hard copies. They are on the back table. Is that right, Kyle? Did you put there?
Yeah, they're on the back
table.
The
hard copies, which you might well just take one anyway because you can probably see what it entails and stuff. The hard copies are on the top table before you leave. But like I say, the link is that link at the top. It is on your sheet. I will ping it out in an email as well, the link. But if you just go on Macclesfield College website, click on courses, click on sport, it's all there. You can identify them by the Macclesfield Town badge, which is next to them. So that's what we need to do. That's what takes you to the next point. I would probably get to the point where only people that are on that database, i.e. have applied at least, are coming to matches or future sessions. At some point it will get to that, probably after Easter. So between now and Easter, I'm still probably messaging you all like I have done, letting you know what's going on, when training is, where I want you for a match. I'm probably doing that with everyone still, up until Easter. I'm probably not after Easter. So even if you want to say to yourself, I'm going to go in Easter, I'm going to suss out the college and see what happened and get around it and then do the application, I would understand that, that's fine. But there is no harm in you just doing it. It actually might help you, because what if we get to a point where there's a cut-off and there's maybe, you know, too many and I have to draw a line, maybe I've got to do it to the people that have applied in some order. But we can cross that bridge later. Good problem to have, and just do it. That would be my advice. Okay, so it is live right now. Yes, Jack? So touching on that, the next steps. So you're thinking what's going on from here then? Right, there is some competitive games coming up. There's been lots of games. You've all played matches. We've played all over the place. That will continue. I think with a few games booked on here, there'll be matches elsewhere. So The competitive games I will let you all know on an individual basis, like I always have done, okay? And you'll be invited to come, whether that's with in a Manchester-based game in Manchester that we've done lots of, or a game here, okay? Then there's the 3 days training over Easter, okay, at Macclesfield College. They are on, it's in your pack as well, the 9th, the 11th and the 16th. So over that fortnight, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday. Ideally, I'd have every player at all them 3 days. But I also know it's probably quite a big ask, okay? So if you can make 2 of them, or 1 of them, or whatever, or some of you are away and all that, I understand. Ideally, you're at one of these events, okay? And that'll be the same time as we did it there last time, which was about 11 till 3. Mixed bag of stuff we did. We'll have some lunch halfway through like we did, which the college kindly put on. We'll do all that. A serious note for this is, on the 2 Tuesdays, 9th and 16th, the college are putting on some travel to get the Manchester-based players there. So we're trying to do everything we can to help you out to understand what's happening and what it's like. So there will be a pickup from Manchester Piccadilly and en route probably Parswood Entertainment Centre. Okay, that's a coach on the 9th and the 16th. So it'll be prior to them days, I'll be communicating with them kind of Manchester-based players and making sure I know they are definitely going to be there or not be there. And if we get our fingers burnt and people don't take it up, then we'll take it on the chin, okay? But we want the people from Manchester and the lads who are more locally based at them sessions. So that's our next thing. Come to the matches that are coming up, come to the things over Easter, and then we'll just take it as it comes then. And then I'm expecting applications to be coming through, okay? But like I said, the details will be confirmed 100% about them bus travels. Now, the middle one, the 11th, what I would probably be saying to people is, give it a go. Maybe get on the train that day. So we know the bus, the new government initiative doesn't kick in till September, but there's probably no harm on that 11th, you doing it. So if you live in Stockport, get into Stockport station, getting the train from Stockport to Mac, which is like no time at all, like 1 stop or something, and getting off. And from Mac station, and I'll be advising you this, it's a not even a 10-minute stroll up the road to the college, just up from the train station. So you will get picked up 9th and 16th if you're from further afield. Give it a go on the 11th is my opinion, and I'm hoping that that's a really busy 3 days, and we've had matches, training, and done all the stuff that we need to do. Okay, so they're the next steps. Right, this is the big opportunity now for questions. This is now open questions. We will be here at the end for anyone that wants to stay and get in a line and ask us some individual based questions. We will take the questions. Right now, what I would like is if anyone's got any kind of burning questions that they think I've missed, the girls have missed, or have never really touched on it, I would like Kyle to offer you the mic and ask us some questions. Go on, Kyle, go and find out. So anyone, hands up, Kyle will ask you some questions. Somebody must have questions. There we go. Leo's dad's helped me out there.
Yeah, Paul, the first one is, if one of the children has a significant injury, how does it affect them on the course?
Well, they should still get education. There's no, obviously, if they're disability and they're at home and they can't walk or something, but as soon as they're back on their feet, they should be at college. There's no reason they shouldn't be at college. In terms of the football, yes, it's a little bit of a difficult, but they'll just be treated like any footballer, like if they play for Macctown Football Club. So if you're injured, you can be helped to get treated by us. You can see like the physio at Macctown and stuff, you're part of that world. So if you're injured, we will help you out as best we can. But what I would say is if you're injured, you need to still be at college as soon as you're back on your feet and able to do so. It will happen.
Injury is significant to the point that they can't play football to a certain level. What happens then?
What if the injury's like they've done the cruise shirt and they're out for a year or something?
Yeah. You're not going to play football after say 12 months.
Yeah. It's probably the same as any football, isn't it? It's still totally on the course, still doing all the education, still probably, truthfully, you know what? I did my first year at Morecambe on their academy. I did my cruciate ligament. I didn't play to the back end of the second year. And what I did was I turned up to matches, I watched, I got around it, I probably helped out in other ways, maybe with the coaching. So if they're injured, they can still be there. There's no reason not to be. So they should be in the classroom still, as well as anybody, and helping us, helping the coaches, being around it, picking up the cones, marking out things, almost being a coach. I can tell you all, honestly now, I made it as a professional with Morecambe, but when I did my cruise shirt, that's when I went into coaching. And while playing for Morecambe, I got a part-time job for Macclesfield Town Centre of Excellence because I was injured. Probably the best thing that ever happened. So it's a great question, to be fair. So if you get injured, you're going to have a little different slant on what you're doing, but you need to be at everything as much as anybody would be. If that answers your question.
Okay, third and final question then is a number of kids here doing the Duke of Edinburgh probably. Is the course going to accommodate the Duke of Edinburgh?
Does that mean something to you, Andrea?
Yeah.
I do know Duke of Edinburgh.
We don't offer Duke of Edinburgh at the college. A lot of our students come with bronze, silver, Duke of Edinburgh and do it independently. But we do work with the National Citizenship Service, which is a 4-week course that we offer to students. Now, I haven't discussed that with Paul, how that would fit in, but that potentially would fit in really, really well, because we could get people doing the community work with the football club, and part of it is that you have to give something to charity, so you have to do some charity work. So it's very similar to the D of E, but without the big long walk. So it can be.
So is there anything fixed in place at the moment?
No.
Is this, okay.
No.
Good question, but sounds like something, Andrea, we could bolt onto this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
potentially.
Okay. Come on then, questions? Some of you players must have questions as well. There's like 50 footballers in this room. You must need to know or want to know something about something. Maybe I'm just so good at presenting, I've told me everything. Can't be no one. Kyle, what about you?
Not really me.
Alright, thanks, Kyle. Any questions from anyone? Yes, here, we got one. Come on, Kyle.
How many places have you got?
We do not have a restriction or a cap. So how I view it is, I would love it if we had 2 squads. What I would class as an A and a B squad. Okay? So you would be looking at maybe 20 lads in each squad. So if we had 40 players in this programme, it'd be a massive achievement, because it'd be more than anybody else's academy anywhere, certainly for a year 1. But also they'd blend quite well. So if I had an A team and a B team, and we had competition for places, and B team players moving up because they're doing well, and A team players not doing so well and dropping down, that's what I would think. If we end up with 20 lads doing it, and it's 20 lads in the programme, which again is totally fine. So depending on the numbers is what therefore I will do. Now if we ended up with 60 on it, and we had an A, B and a C team, that's what we'll do, which will be an unbelievable position to be in. So there isn't a cap. It's not like we're only taking 18 players, because obviously it's a good question, to be fair, because some academies do that. So if you're at Salford in the 92 academy, they only take 20, or some others will have caps as well. We haven't really got to that point yet, so we're just saying, look, we'll take anybody, because this is what I honestly think. If you come to us, and deep down I know you're not the best player, you're probably not going to make, you might make a good amateur level player, let's say, like a Manchester Central or something, which actually, let's say you're not as good for that, let's say you probably won't go on to play football, but you know what, on our programme, you've been a great lad, you've been on time, you're really punctual, you're polite, you're on it, you're switched on, and you're into like coaching and the sports world, well actually you're going to get probably more out of this course than the guy who thinks he's a player and might be a player. So it's not totally on your ability as a footballer, it's not. So if you're just a good lad and on the programme, you do your 2 years, you maybe get that apprenticeship role as a coach, and you're in the mix with us and you're helping run the academy, that's great. So when I say A and B, bottom B team players might come out of this better than the mid-range A guys. They might, that's the truth. That's exactly how I see it. So we will only be capped by the numbers that come. If we get an awkward number and it's not right, and maybe the guys look at their education attainment and they're not maybe good enough and they can't get a level 2, that's the only thing that would stop you. If you can't get on the academic, I'd struggle to believe anyone here can't get on the level 2.
I think that's why we're saying the exams are so important. I mean, everybody who's come to this programme has already shown a certain ability in football,
yeah,
otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So that's a given. You know, the only thing that will stop you is if you really are getting grade 1s, pretty much grade 1s and grade 2s in your GCSEs, and then we wouldn't have an academic programme for you. So that's the incentive. You've got the footballing skills in place, now work on those GCSEs.
Yeah. Great question, thanks.
Paul, just a question of the 2 lads at the back here.
Oh yeah?
They're a bit nervous.
Oh, give them the mic. Come on, make them do it.
Go on, Zach.
Hello, Zach.
He wants to know if there's an under-18s team next season.
Under-18, what, for what?
On a weekend.
At the weekend?
Yeah.
It might be, but as I said before, Zach, that under-18s is what your brother played in, do you mean? Zach? Yeah, does he mean that? Yeah? Yeah. The under-18s is going to turn into under-21, Zach. That's the plan, because we'll have all the under-18 stuff boxed off with this academy. Our academy is officially under-19. That's what it's classed as when you're on academy. You're on under-19. So there's not really a total need for us to have under-18s at a weekend. Does that answer your question, Zach? Yeah.
Paul. Paul, just a quick question for me. How soon are you going to be honest with the lads? So if they are here for the first year, they ain't going to make it as a footballer, so they'll focus on coaching or not coaching or something else.
Yeah.
How honest are you going to be with them, and how soon, so they can start focusing on what they're going to be good at?
I'd say probably about halfway through the first year is my honest answer. You probably let them find the feet, don't judge them too early and too harshly, and see, you know, really give them a chance to see what they're about. And then probably straight away I'm starting to think this lad's probably a coach more than a footballer. And then the lads might eventually, in like year 2, not play for the team so much and be part of the coaching of the team. That's a realistic thing I can see happening. To be honest, I think hopefully you can all judge me as it is. I'll just be honest with them. Not harshly though, because they're coming here to be a footballer really initially, or follow a pathway of football. So look, to play for Mac Town, you might get less out of that than playing for a Manchester Central and having a job. So actually, to be not as good at football might serve you better in the end, because you actually find your feet at that level. So we won't write anyone off from a football point of view. And I'm also massively aware that people do get better and improve dramatically. And people get worse as well. So we've got to be a little bit flexible. So I'd say, look, probably about halfway through year 1, I'm probably thinking about some lads and what they're about. But probably get into year 2, see the ones that grow, see the ones that flourish, see the ones that get stronger, and see someone who's in the B team in year 1 might be right up there in the A team in year 2. It'd be a great position to be in. But my honest answer is, I'll be honest with the lads as soon as I can, and the parents. With the college, there'll be like parents' evenings. We will do things with parents, and I'm sure you know an email to me. It's my full-time job this, so you email me, I'm answering you back. A lot of the academies up and down and around here, they've got guys who don't even do it as a job. He works somewhere else and he just comes and does this in his spare time. You can get me all the time. This is my life. Yeah. Go on, Kyle. Hands up at the front. Come on, Kyle. You're struggling with this job, yeah? Someone can replace Kyle very quickly.
Hi, I've got a question for Andrea. In terms of the BTEC, how does this BTEC course fit alongside your existing BTEC sport programme?
Okay, so we're going to do a bespoke timetable for this course. When Paul was saying A, B and C, I was nearly having a heart attack. We've got 60 students, so I'm going to have to get some more staff. But what we will be doing is we'll be doing a bespoke timetable, because we have to fit that timetable around especially a Wednesday afternoon, when all those leagues run, and all the commitments. So we will probably do the maths and English in some quite concentrated blocks if it's needed. So we're not doing it as we would do with other students in 3 1-hour blocks. So we will probably do that in the morning or an afternoon. We will work that between us. It might be that we're doing the academics in the morning and then the football coaching in the afternoon. For level 3, there's 13 hours academic commitment of actually being in the classroom, plus an hour tutorial. So there is plenty of time to fit that football around it. But I have to say this is a 5-day course. In fact, it's probably more really with the weekend commitments.
Listen, you're right, it is bespoke, to be fair. They've never seen a timetable. I'm giving them and saying this is what it needs to look like. They're like, all right, hang on, Paul. It is new. It's not going to follow what they currently do at a BTEC Sport at college. This is totally different. These lads are unique on their programme and should look unique as well. That's why they wear kit and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Kyle? Oh, hang on, easy.
Aaron's got one.
All right. Come on, Aaron.
Is there a pre-season?
Is there a pre-season? Do you think there's a pre-season?
Yeah, but
of course there is, yeah.
When does it start?
When does it start? Good question. It'll probably start
May 14th.
Yeah, probably. Listen, it just depends. It should start in July. So a lot of the things we will do will be in July. My dream would be when the first team start training, one day, the academy lads are all there on the same site at the same time. That's what I want to happen. So if I told you that now, that's what I'm trying to make happen. Other than that, a main bulk of academy lads, it should be throughout August really. So throughout August, we're doing lots of stuff before the course starts, kind of the first or second Monday in September. So to answer your question, Aaron, it's probably in August, but don't be surprised if there's stuff in July. I would say there was one near the front, wasn't it, Kyle? You probably don't need it, do you? Yeah, go on.
As the course is very new, what guarantees have you got in place that it's going to work?
I'm going to make it work. Yes. Listen, we don't. It's going to be as good as the students we have. That's the truth of it. We've got the football club full backing. So from the football point of view, we've got the full backing football club. We've got qualified people like me that have done this before. I've been in this world a long time, this academy type football. So we are quite experienced in doing it. So that helps me out on the football, thinking we know what we're doing on the football. I like to think the games you've been to and that you've seen how we've conducted ourselves with the lads. From a football point of view, I think we've got it covered. Education, yeah, it's a little bit new to us, but Andrew, you got it covered, haven't you?
We've been doing it for years. So the courses we've been doing, level 2 and level 3, we've been doing them for a long time. We had Ofsted in last year, we were judged as good. Our results speak for themselves. More than happy if any parents at any time want to come and look around the college. If you just contact Paul, I can arrange tours for parents as well. Okay.
It's a good question. Truthfully answered, we don't do it. We don't have a way of being definitely sure.
I just didn't know whether you had some kind of, I don't know, some fallbacks if it didn't.
I just think once we get it off the ground, it does, hopefully, it kind of looks after itself, you know, as long as we've got the cohort, they're on it, they're in classrooms, they're on pitches, they're playing matches. Make no mistake, will it probably get better year on year? Yeah. Are you lot the guinea pigs? Maybe. But I actually honestly have said, and I honestly mean this, I think there's an outside chance that if the lads that we've had playing on pitches of late do this course, we may never have a better intake of footballers. I honestly believe that. I don't see how it would be dramatically better with some of the talent I've seen in some of the matches we played. So in terms of the intake and quality, I am not worried. If I was studying now thinking, we're going to tone this down a bit, play it a bit cool, don't worry about the football, let's tell them it's a year one and it'll be great in future. Now, you know what? Hitting the ground running, we should have a great team and we should be doing really, really well. So that's probably the only assurance I can give you, really.
No, that's good, thank you.
Yeah. Hi, mate.
Say if you want to play football but you want to do another course, is there anything you can do about that?
To be with us on our programme, and do another course at Mac College or do another course at another place? Both. Right, okay. If you're at Mac College doing another course, you've probably got an outside chance of being around it, but it'll be tough because your timetable won't be the same as the timetable for these lads. But you're at Mac College, you're in the building, you would probably somehow worm your way onto the football, I would be sure of it. Now, if you're doing, and this is a burning question for a lot of people, I'll be honest with you, if you're doing A-levels, X school down the road, the chances of you then being on our football academy programme are pretty much very low. They're pretty much zero. I would have to class you as an extended player. So let's just say you go to Valley Broom High School and do your A-levels, okay? That's probably you. That's you. You're making that choice, which is great, and there's reasons to do that, but you're probably not you aren't part of the Macclesfield Town Football Academy. Now, if you're a class player, and I could register you as an extended player and still use you for some certain games, I would be a daft not to, and I would probably try to do that. But as you can imagine, that's on a case-by-case, 1 or 2 person thing. Okay, so to be studying at another place and playing with us will be tough. Okay, because I will have a responsibility to the lads on our full-time programme. Does that answer your question? Yeah, thanks, mate. Okay.
Hi, Paul. That's the situation. What's the chances of playing for Manchester Central?
Better be bloody good, let me say, if they're playing for Manchester Central. Yeah, listen, that's what I'm playing for Central. Aside from all this, is a whole other thing. Yeah, people can speak to me about individually. Lads have been to watch some of our games. A couple of lads have trained with Tyler James, a good lad who's scored goals in that video and played. He trains with Manchester Central now on a Thursday night. Lewis Price, who's another good player. Is Lewis in the room? No. No, he couldn't make it, could he? He was watching our game on Saturday. So lads are starting to get a little feel for what goes on outside of Mactown, maybe at dropping down a few levels, but it being a bit realistic. spitting sawdust in your face, lively. So yeah, if you're not doing this, it's the truth. If you're not doing this in the end, and you want to keep in touch with me and stay in touch with Paul and find other options and what else can we do, I will do that for anybody. Yeah, again, case by case basis. So Manchester Central have a reserves, but if you want to be part of that because you're not part of this, then you've just got to get in touch with me, really, I would say, and we'll do that individually. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Yeah. Do that outside of this, really. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone else got any questions? This is your chance. Kyle, you got any?
Again.
I'd just like to know if you're thinking of it. Have I missed anything?
To be fair, in all fairness, you've got the EFL League, haven't you?
Yeah.
What if Mac get relegated? Will we still be in the EFL League?
We will still be in the EFL League on a Wednesday, yeah. Now, that's a good question, Kyle. Have I told you to ask me that? Did I? I probably did. Listen, people have said it here, sat in this room, oh, what happens to this if Macctown get relegated? Nothing, it's fine. Doesn't matter. This isn't linked, associated to Macclesfield Town's position in the Football League at all. Do I think it's a big benefit to be in the Football League? Of course I do. Of course I do. And actually, with the results how they went for us in that injury time on Saturday, it was great. We scored, Notts County conceded, and actually you look at the league table now, it looks pretty healthy with the games we've got to play. So if Macctown stay as they are, great, no problems. Okay, Macctown get relegated, no problems. This still runs, and actually, if I wanted to spin it this way, your gap to getting in a first team has just become a bit shorter. If Macctown got relegated, there's probably even more of a need for homegrown players. That's what I honestly think. Because we won't be able to afford these guys from London and around the place and putting them up in digs and Mottram Hall and all that. That'll be out the window. I could pretty much guarantee if they got relegated, they'll need our three best players. They probably will need them, whether it's to fill a bench or be around it. So, however we spin it in terms of relegation or staying up, to me on this programme, selfishly, it doesn't really matter. My job doesn't depend on it, and this doesn't depend on it. It's just probably better if they stay up, really. That's the truth of it. So, thanks for that question, Kyle. Someone got one? Go on.
No, you wanted to, but you want again.
Is that Zach again? Right, we need to do work on that with Zach then, don't we? Any other questions from anybody? Anything burning? The beauty of all this is all going to be on YouTube. So you get to have to sit off for this again, sorry about that. But there'll be bits you want a breakdown of it maybe, think about again, all that stuff. I don't think many other academies would put their stuff up on YouTube or anything like we do. In fact, I know like all the games we've got highlights for, when me and the lads have all been out in the cold and the rain. We want to promote your son and let them also see what they're doing. I know the lads love to look at themselves on YouTube and watch the goals going in. We'll try and, so next season we'll try and do the match highlights. We'll film the games, all that kind of stuff. Some of your sons might be the ones that are filming the games in the end because that's their world. Anything we can do, watch the videos back, email me one-to-one like you always have done, or pick up the phone. You know you can speak to the college and go down there. And for me, that's it really. I want to just say thank you very much for coming. The application hard copies are at the end that maybe like Jack or someone or Carl will hand out, but it's online. So you go to Macclesfield College website and you can do it all from there. I will be in touch about the upcoming games and the upcoming training in Easter. Okay? Anybody that wants to ask us something personal or one-to-one, we're going to stay here for as long as that needs to be. I'd probably say try and form a line or something, and we'll go through them as fast as we can. But hopefully you found it informative, not too boring. Hopefully you know a lot more about Macctown now. About the academy, and thank you everybody for coming.